This is SmartCab, the ultimate equipment management solution. I'm Ben Johnson. I'm a regional digital ag lead here at Farmer's Edge, and let's talk about SmartCab. So this all starts with thinking about, the digital agricultural ecosystem, and the farmer is very much at the center of all of that. And you think about, who a farmer has a digital relationship with. Well, it's a lot of entities. There's a seed supplier, fertilizer dealer, their equipment manufacturer. Maybe they have some irrigation and they're doing some digital stuff with that. Then also you think about their banker, their insurance guy, all of that stuff. And so there's a lot of the same information that goes around to these same entities, and to be honest, in the past it's been kind of a project to get everyone the information that they need. And the core question we're trying to ask is, or trying to figure out is, is there a better way to be able to get people the right information? So then we also take a look at, where we're collecting this information, and so it's coming from, our pieces of equipment. Maybe it's from our combine or our planter or sprayer, irrigation equipment. What we're trying to do is we're trying to take information from all those different pieces and get them into one place, and that's what we're doing with our FarmCommand platform. And so the pieces that we're bringing to the table as Farmer's Edge, and also as this specifically this SmartCab product, it starts off with our CanPlug, which is our in-cab telematics device. We're looking at bringing on our information from our advanced weather network, bringing in some satellite imagery, and then we're displaying those in both our app and our desktop platform. And then we have our support and training from our people, our boots on the ground, to back all of that up. So so we take all of that and bring it all into FarmCommand into one place where we can easily read all this information and start to make decisions off of it. So with this particular product, this really has a big focus on our CanPlug piece. And so our CanPlug, it's got an integrated cellular device in there, and we're flexible on what company we can use. There's some areas of the world where Verizon just does not work, and the same is true for AT&T as well. So we use what works in your area. We also have a Bluetooth connection as well for some live streaming capabilities. And we're also able to read into that CAN system, bring in things like your as applied information, yield data, all that good stuff, and then also your diagnostic stuff off the tractor, so that you're able to see some of the machine information like live fuel usage or fuel level, or all the engine stuff. We also have some onboard storage as well. So if you're in an area where you don't have great cell signal, we can take and store that data on the CanPlug until you do have good cell signal, and then we can move that up to the cloud then. So yes, we're trying to we have the ability to bring in information from multiple machines and be able to display it on one device as well. So with this, there is an annual subscription, and you do have access to the FarmCommand app as well as the FarmCommand desktop. As far as the app is concerned, you're able to get that in-cab experience, so all that live information, like your live yield map getting populated or an as-applied map getting populated live. You're able to look up weather information from our weather station network. You get scouting maps from the Sentinel and Landsat satellite networks, which not quite as frequent as our PlanetScope Dove satellite images, which are daily. These are not daily. But we do cut these into a couple different ways, which we'll talk about in a bit here. You can also create jobs. So jobs are important for tying a specific machine activity to a specific field, just to keep track of time, keep track of expenses, all those things, and get those associated to the correct fields. We also have a spot for markets, so you can look up current border trade prices for different commodities that you grow and you want to keep track of. So it's right there in the app. Harvest information as well. So if you want to take some scale tickets from your loads of grain and get those back into, like, say, your yield map, you can keep track of those there and You can also keep track of different storage places that you have there. So if you've got, some bins on your north farm, you want to keep track of what crop is in what bin and how full that bin is. You can do that, and then you can do that for another building site as well. Maybe you got something on your home farm, and so you can keep track of everything, see where everything's at. And then supplies, that's that's everything from fuel to fertilizer to crop protection products, keeping track of how much you've purchased, and then applying those to different fields. And once again, just keeping track of what you have going where. And so as far as that in-cab experience, you're able to see jobs that you start on a field, and then you can also see some live views of, for example, harvest. You can see, okay, this is how much of the field that we have done, which is great if you're not in that field, or even if you are in that field, you can kind of get to that live input on, okay, how is this variety yielding, or how is this farm doing? Gives you that real-time look at that. And that is done, that real-time look is done by that Bluetooth connection. So if you're sitting there in the cab, you can see that live. And so yes, as far as the different things we can see with that connection, you can see obviously on the just on the harvest part of things, you can see yield. There's different icons you can see, like grain yield, grain moisture, ground speed. You can also change the map that you're seeing. So the one on the left there, that is actually a yield map, but you could change that just as easily to fuel usage or speed or moisture or whatever is important that you want to see. So yield is important, but some of these other things are important as well, and you can change that. And you can also, if you've got multiple machines out doing things, and you're away from some of these machines, you can tap on that machine inside the app, and you can see things like the speed that it's traveling, how many acres has it covered today, what is the fuel level there. So maybe you're down at the shop, or at your grain bin set up, and you're just thinking, well, geez, is my hired guy, how's he doing on fuel? And so you can check up on him. You didn't have to send a text, you didn't have to call him, and he didn't have to get back to you, and you can just see at a glance. And if you needed to send a fuel truck out there, you could, without having to slow him down from whatever he's doing. And so, yeah, we do have two different views. We've got what we call a manager view and an operator view. The manager view is being able to look at the entire operation. So if you've got, that situation like a few slides ago, where there was 4 combines in the field, that manager view, you'll be able to stitch all those independent yield maps together and see everything, in a holistic view. And the operator view, you're more focusing on that specific machine, and that's that live update via just the Bluetooth connection there. So as far as creating jobs, it's a very slick process to create a job. So what you do is just when you open that up, there's just a few drop downs you have to fill out, and not all of them are essential. I mean, obviously it helps keep track of important information, but if you just want to get out there and go, there's just a few things you need to fill out, and it's we've simplified it to be as simple as possible to keep you rolling. So the other piece of this is imagery. So the imagery offering in SmartCab is not as elaborate as our normal offering on imagery, but it still gives you some imagery value. So it's based off of the Sentinel and Landsat satellites, which are not as frequent and not as high of resolution. But we still do start off with that NDVI layer, which NDVI seems to be pretty much the industry standard on imagery. But anytime you start to see something in NDVI, when that those green areas start to turn yellow or red, it's almost too late to see, almost too late to take action. So what we've done is we've created some other map layers to kind of give you some more insight and help you get some more actionable data. So the first way we cut that is what we call our scouting map, which is the one at the top. And so that's where we take the NDVI and we make the ranges of the colors more dramatic. So you start to see more major variations out in the field. So like your sand spots, your mud holes, all those sorts of things, just as some extreme examples. But me personally, whenever I go out scouting, that's the first map that I go to. And that kind of directs me towards the major issues in the field. Now we can cut that a different way to what we call our variation map, which would be the purple map in the middle. And those are the more subtle areas or more subtle variations within the field. And so these are the things that you're probably not going to see driving past on the road. So last year, with it being wet in much of North America, we were able to see drainage issues. That really popped out there. On my own farm, I actually saw a difference in, it wasn't a hybrid change we had out there. It was actually a planting population that you could see. And it was just 4,000 plants per acre different. So in corn, that was, I don't know, maybe maybe 12% different. And you could see it on that variation map, right down to the line. So just a really good layer when you want to do some deeper analysis. So as far as what's included here, we've got that weather station network, which we'll talk about in just a minute, some equipment reporting, our satellite images, scouting reports, jobs and assets, planting as applied and harvest data processing. And so that's included there in the desktop. And yes, the last piece is our weather station network. Now, our normal program, we do set up weather stations on your farm, but in this particular program, we're giving you access to the weather station network. So you don't get your own, but you get to look at your neighbors. And so we've got a pretty vast weather station network across the United States, getting more and more all the time. And so you'll get a forecast. And then you'll also be able to look back on historical data, whether it be, the daily average for a particular day, or you can actually open up a particular day and see the hour by hour totals, which is kind of handy when you think about situations where maybe you had like a spray claim. And, we've had situations where there's been spray claims. We look at the local weather station information and we can, either verify or debunk that claim pretty quick. Because if you have a spray claim and the wind is blowing out of the complete opposite direction that it should have, I mean, it's pretty hard to have that claim hold any water. So another thing we can do here is some equipment reporting here. So on this particular field, on this particular day, we can look at the different combines that were out there, how long they were working, how many acres per hour, what was their average speed, overlap, all that good stuff. And so we can combine them together for actual whole field totals. And we can also start to make comparisons between those machines. Even if it's three of the same type of machine out there, same model number and everything, we've seen some situations where one machine was burning significantly more fuel than the others, and it was more than just the operator. It was actually like a clogged filter. So those sorts of things are things that can come to light from taking a look at these types of analysis. All right, so then we also have a scouting app with this as well, and we can do some analysis on the scouting app. So you have your different pins that you drop over the course of the year to take observations, where you can see some notes that were written in the field. You see the crop stage. You also you can take a picture and attach it there on an issue. And sometimes it's good to take a look at these issues and think, okay, this looked like a big issue during the season. And so you can come back and you can actually layer in different layers, whether it be some sort of imagery, planting, your planting layer, or you can, in this case, take a look at your yield map. And I think that's really great to do is, okay, did this issue that we see out here, how did that correlate in yield? Is there, where we had like this big gap in planting, was there a big red spot? or maybe there was a disease. Was this disease actually a big issue? Did this actually cause a yield loss, or did it just look bad but yield anyway? So it's good to go back and analyze those sorts of things. So yeah, and so that's just one example of all the different layers that we can display in FarmCommand. So we can do yield as applied information, elevation, productivity, moisture, fuel usage, all that good stuff. And that's important to look at and be able to analyze at different times to figure out, okay, is this, did we have an issue out here? Okay, what were some of the factors that caused this? And by looking at these different layers, it's easier to pinpoint those sorts of things so that you can make the correct decisions to learn from that and do better next year. So once again, with Farmer's Edge, we've got dedicated people to help train you on how to use our products. We've got many video tutorials to show you how to use it, how-to guides, in-person training. We also have boots on the ground data validation, and we've got our weekly webinars like this one here. So our SmartCab tool, so the cost for this is year one, it's $899 per CanPlug with $125 installation. But every year beyond that, that would be $499 a year. So it's a little bit more expensive on the setup and install, but once that's paid for, it's pretty reasonable.